everyone, I'm back with the update for the progression on Erika2 that I've been working on. We're gonna jump into an 8-4 map now. Keep in mind, we just got here. It's doable. This will be super farmable in the future, but we are still in the transition of pivoting our gear, and there's a lot of room for improvement. And we'll get into that once we go over it. But we wanted to get the gameplay out of the way. So we're jumping in the 8-4 to show you what's going on. Essentially, you're just holding down your button, one button. You're navigating your character around. Everything else is automated, and you don't have to do anything. Run around and dodge mechanics. Really, really good if you're a mobile player, as I've been told that the mobile controls they leave a lot to be desired for a lot of people. But if you do this build, you just run around and everything does around you. Oh yeah. We're in a cage. All that to finish up over there. Go back. And a turn.
Erika is awesome.
So I do believe currently in our current gear setup and our power level, 8-3 is the better place to be farming. But I did want to highlight the 8-4 gameplay. You guys enjoyed that. Now, once we're done, we're gonna get into the meat of the video, the purpose of the video, which is to showcase the build. So we're gonna dive into that in a second. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed the gameplay. All right, guys, now to the main feature of the video. Why you're all really here, let's be honest. All right, we're gonna jump into the build. We have changed over now to Thunderbolt Overload. And the reason why is all skills of physical damage will be converted to lightning damage. We are gonna be using some physical stuff, so this is useful. On top of that, it's multiple bouncing. It hits lots of targets. It's great for AoE. We got our activation medium rhythm. You want to aim for at least a 0.5 seconds. Lower the better. Obviously, it goes down to a 0.2 seconds, but you want to get at least a 0.5. As high as a damage multiplier as you can. You want to throw a mark on there, projectile split, and electric punishment. We got our life source. We got our activation medium. Same deal. You want to have a nice little HP. I prefer around the 50% range, but some people like to go a little higher. Some prefer to go a little lower. You got instant restoration to make it go full instantly. And you can change between limber stretch or auto charge. So if you're running out of charges too quickly, you're gonna want auto charge. If you have your charges, you got a good sustain on charges, you can use limber stretch for some more move speed. We've now put on the fixate. We've got an activation medium, perpetual motion. For this, you want a cooldown recovery, not duration increased or whatever the other version is. So just make sure you pay attention to the one you're buying. And you're going to want a cooldown recovery one. We're going to throw a Mania and a well-fought battle onto this. Now we have Elemental Destruction. We got a dual curse setup. Both of them will be on an activation medium, Terran of Malice, and Abysmal Hatred. So we got Elemental Destruction there, and we got Electrocute here. Same setup. For this, you're going to need to use a curse candle, so you can cast an extra curse. You can also get additional curse on your chest. You can get it on your pedigree. You can get it from a pet. There's many ways to get additional curse. So whatever way you find to get additional curse, toss it on. Now, this is important. You do need precise Thunder Imbue because the regular Thunder Imbue can't shock. And only the precise version can shock, which is very important for us. So make sure you do have the precise Thunder Imbue. We're going to throw in an Ailment Termination, Electric Overload, Imbue enhancement, turret, and critical strike damage. Now we have our Summon Frost Spirit. This is completely extra, and if you're not at the point of the build where you can fit it into your mana, then you don't need it. Cut this out completely, deactivate it, and just run this setup without this. This becomes useless if you don't have the second one. So you cut this out as well, cut this out, and your mana will be easier to manage. If you do have the room for it, we do run this. We do put a protection field and a superpower on here to get some more HP regeneration, as well as some survivability. Over here, same deal, superpower and protection field. But now we have Friend of Spirit Magie, which means, well, we have at least 2 types of Spirit Magie. His origin, his buff he gives us is going to be buffed. So now our critical strike rating is now being buffed by 48% there, as well as 45% here. Finally, we're going to end up with a precise elemental amplification. You don't need the precise. I got it because it was cheap. This one you can just use a regular one. Precise is better. You do get some extra penetration, a little more damage, but this one's not. You can get the regular one for this. Once again, the precise Thunder Imbue is mandatory. You cannot use a regular one. You could, but you're going to see significantly less damage if you don't use the precise version. All right, our candles. Currently, we have a lightning skills and an additional damage for every 8 meters of movement made recently candle, which is great. We really like that one. We are forced to use this additional curse candle. For now, I am going to find another way so I can get a better another candle on here. But these 2 mods you're looking for, which is great. Also, cooldown recovery is really good for us, as well as a Soul Eater candle is, I have one somewhere here, is really good for us. It's a 2 damage, skill area, and movement speed for every enemy defeated. So you get into a map and you just start ramping and running. Also a very good option. All right, so that's our skills. We're going to jump into our talents. There have been some changes. The tree is pretty much the same at the bottom half, but the top is where the changes have happened. So I'm going to go over this again. We got some damage. We got some life and energy shield here. A little bit of movement speed. We pick up our shock stuff at the bottom here so we can deal shock an additional time. And we end up with additional max damage. Now we're always on paralyzed. Flicker does nothing for us. We have no mobility skills, so we're always on paralyzed, and you don't have to worry about swapping it anymore. We now have rushed. We do like rushed. Rushed is fun. I have been playing around with impedance. It has its place, but honestly, the lack of the movement speed just, I just really like running fast personally. But you can play around with both and see which one you like more. Finally, we move over to Blade Runner. We're gonna have some lightning damage, life over here, some crit strike rating. We're gonna get some more life at the top there. We're gonna get some life regain at the bottom. We're gonna jump ahead over here. We're gonna move over to shock shuttles more times, as well as lightning penetrations for critical strikes. We're going to end up here with conductive at the top, as well as queer angle. Now, finally, we go to Warlock. This is where the changes have happened. We got some damage here, skill effect duration, sealed mana, very important, life, critical strike rating. Down here, we have damage and chance to deal double damage against enemies with ailment. Additional ailment damage when hit inflicts double damage. Oh, actually, we might not need that. We might respect that, but for now, we're going to use that. We got cooldown recovery with the max charge, as well as +1 all skill levels. Some movement speed with blur, and damage for every type of ailment hits. At the top, we are now using indifference because we are focused on our cooldown recoveries, and we're not casting as much. It's all being triggered, so the faster cooldowns is good times. We're going to end up in Dirty Tricks to apply all the ailments on every hit. Once we have all the ailments, our multipliers start stacking up. Statues of New Gods, we haven't done much changes here. We do have some better slates, but I haven't pivoted them. See, I still have my attack damage stuff. So going over these slates is going to probably confuse you more than help you. I will recommend some key nodes you're looking for is the shock damage. Settles is a big one. As well as if you need the sealed mana, this is a great place to get sealed mana. Critical strike rating is always good. It's universal as long as it doesn't say attack critical strike rating. It will work for us. And spell damage is also good mod for us over here. All right. As for our gear, now keep in mind, we are trying to do this as cheap as possible. So you're going to see some sketchy gear, we'll say. On your helmet, you're looking for support, skill levels, seal mana, life, cooldown recovery, curse effect, and a resistance that you need. That'll help you. As for the base, I haven't really figured out the base. I do like the crit strike rating right now. It does come with armor. I am toying around with the idea of using the energy shield helm that gives you +1 skill level at the cost of losing a focus blessing. That might in turn be a little more damage, but I'm hesitant because it's an energy shield. I'm kind of stacking armor. I kind of want to stay on the armor, but I don't know. We'll see where we end up. This is a good place to start. I've had this helm for a while. If you've watched my other videos, you would have seen. As for this chest, well, we kind of ruined our craft. As you see, we tried to go for the second tier 0. It didn't go the way we liked. So we just kind of, bit the bullet here and decided to make it work instead of trying to make a new chest because we couldn't afford it. Here we got our life, our percentage, our flat life, which you like both of those, our curse effect, erosion resistance, and then again, whatever other resistance you need to balance out. Over here, we decided because we failed our chest, we weren't going to try for the tier 0 because we were scared. And here you're looking for lightning, skill area, max life, erosion resistance, elemental resistance. Over here, I'm not 100% sure what exactly I'm going to end up with. Probably another resistance will be up in here. Maybe a curse effect if I can. I forget exactly what's on the next. But for now, this was good. The important thing we wanted here was the lightning skill and the sealed mana, as well as the resistances at the bottom. Our gloves we haven't crafted yet, so we're still using Thunder Manipulator. Our belts, we have our Stalker belt, very important as the base for the movement speed. Our big talents we're looking for here are cooldown recovery and damage penetrates. After that, you're going to use your belt as a stat stick to cap out your resistances, whichever way you need to. And this max mana can be replaced with something like reduced additional damage taken while you have low mana, or some other form of a defensive layer. There's not a lot of damage options there, so I like to use my belt as a stat stick and defense. Our boots haven't changed. They're the same. Main stats you're looking for on here are the cooldown and the movement speed. Round out your resistance, double life, and what do you call this? Deflection stacks. All right, so that's those are still the same. We are looking to get a Dreamweave interpretation on these boots eventually, but we haven't got to that point yet. Now we have our Exemption Thunder Shell. This is a very important part of the build. It's kind of built around it. As you can see, additional thunder damage is a big deal. We're looking for a double corroded version. We haven't got there yet, but we did get a corrosion on this, and we did get a corrosion on this. So you want to run 2 of those. We still have our Elemental Whirl. Nothing's changed. But now we're running with the Ominous Gift. The Ominous Gift, it combos well with this. They end up giving us lots of base shock. And if you have both of those on, you go over to your Thunder Imbue, our base shock is now something like 817. See how I haven't corroded these yet? Once I corrode these, this is going to go a lot higher. And we're going to have a good time. All right, there's that for that. As for our talents, we are still the same. We go up here. Now we have ourselves a lightning fast memory. This is nice. It lets us have access to both of these hero traits. So it's a pretty good boost. If you can't afford the actual version, I did mess around with the prototype for a bit. As long as you stay within the -23 range, it's okay. You are going to lose damage. This is using the actual version is much better, but prototypes can get the job done, especially if it's -23 or lower additional damage reduction. Our amulet here, we can't become immune to shock. When immune to shock becomes immune to shock damage, adds base shock, as well as at the bottom we have our shock owned, damage and movement speed stacking up. This is important so we don't kill ourselves with our shock damage. On our chest, we have our immune to ailments to counter the shock damage. So now we are immune to shock. That will trigger our relic. Our relic will make us not take shock damage, and we'll no longer kill ourselves. So it's very important. And the way you get this on your chest is using the Dreamweave interpretation function in town, which is over here. Talking to Patty. Alrighty. Finally, we're going to end up, these haven't changed. We got our cooldown recovery. Feline settles shock damage 1 additional time for every 5 meters of movement speed. And chance to trigger feline figure and adds base shock. I am kind of playing around with these memories. I haven't figured out what's the best yet. So if you guys have any ideas, definitely shoot them down in the comments if you like, or tell me on Twitch. But we are messing around, but here's something, an idea for you guys to work with. I believe that's Erting. We covered all this. We covered that. Yes, sir. We covered the gear. Yes, sir. We covered that. I believe that's all. All right, everybody. I hope that was everything. If you have any questions, as always, please join me live on Twitch. I do get to the YouTube comments, but I'll be honest, the way they're going, don't expect an instant reply over there. If you do guys want comments, definitely come over to the Twitch and come say hi. All right, everyone, hope this helps. I'll see you later. I'm gonna try and get another update video before I go on vacation, so probably at the end of the weekend, and hopefully this helps. Catch you on the next one.